Well, hello everyone, welcome back. I don't have much time to make this video today, but today's video is going to be about my fall slash winter slash end of the year TBR, or my to be read, my pile of books that I want to read. And also it is going to be my moving kind of vlog, basically just a tour of my apartment while my husband and I were moving out, and then a tour of my home while we're moving in. Now listen, this setup that I have right now is kind of ghetto, but we are not against being ghetto on this channel, honey, okay? We're not against that. Anyway, so you're currently like balancing on a box and books and like all that kind of fun stuff because I don't have any of the items for my home, so that's fantastic. So without further ado, let's just go ahead and get into the end of the year TBR slash fall TBR. I typically read fantasies, and I know a lot of people like to read fantasy when the fall time comes around, but that's an all year round thing for me. For the people who came here who only watch my One Piece videos, hello, how are you doing? I'm so glad to see you here. So my reading plans for One Piece is going to be to read the Sandy Island Alabasta Kingdom arc, which is 64 chapters. And then I would also like to read and finish the Sky Island saga as well, with Jaya with 18 chapters and Skypiea with 67 chapters. If you don't know, One Piece is just an amazing, it's an amazing story about this young boy who eats something that gives him kind of powers, but he wants to be a pirate. And once you eat this thing, you can't swim anymore. So that brings in a lot of fun, crazy stories, and the others within the story are just amazing. Everyone you meet along the way is amazing or completely diabolical, which is amazing in their own way. And Oda is such a wonderful artist, not only like his actual art, but also just his story, the art of his story, the art of the emotions behind everything going on. Like, it's a shoujo manga, so it's basically meant for young boys, but I think that anyone at any age would just absolutely love this story. But yeah, if you think it's for you, definitely pick it up because it's amazing. Continuing on, it is the spooky season. However, I am not a spooky gal. I don't like scary stuff. However, I feel like the people who watch my videos have such wonderful taste in books, and so if you do have a recommendation for me for spooky reads, mysteries, thrillers, or even romances, I'm not a romance girly either. I'm really just a fantasy girl through and through, but I know that I need to pick up some other stuff, some historical fiction, some literary fiction, anything that you guys think that I might enjoy. Now, the one thing that I will say when it comes to these books is I don't like cheating in books, and I do not like paranormal when it comes to like ghosts or demons or anything like that. If it's that kind of scary story, I'm so happy for you that you enjoy it, but I don't personally want to read about that stuff or bring that into my life. As I like to say often, I don't watch those kind of movies or read things about it. It's just not for me. Okay, so let's get into the books that I have that I want to read. Firstly, the book that I am reading right now that is on the top of the TBR is Malice by Gwynne. And if you don't already know what this story is about, basically there was a god who created another higher power kind of thing, but they were getting to be at war with each other, and then there was a war between men and giants, and these giants are described very, very cool. Like, they're obviously very tall, they're a giant and they have like long black hair most of the time, and they have like blue tattoos going all up on them. And so the giants in the story, they, like, man and giant would roam together, but they had lost the war, and so they had been pushed up to a different area. And so now it's starting to happen again, where the giants and men are possibly going to go to war again, but you are following a couple of different characters. So think of, if you've read a Game of Thrones, you follow different point of views, like multiple different point of views. I don't think it's super complicated, but I will say take notes or highlight or whatever, especially if you're not used to reading epic or high fantasy, because that's what this is, I'm loving it so far. I'm definitely not that great at describing books. I am loving the characters. I'm loving the descriptions. It's definitely not difficult to understand. The language is not flowery. It's descriptive enough for me to still be beautiful writing. And then next, I have Royal Assassin on my list. Now, I don't have any of my books with me except for like 2, but I want to read Royal Assassin, which is the second book in Robin Hobb's Farseer trilogy, and that's the first trilogy within the realm of the Elderlings, which is like a 16-book saga, I think. Anyways, so in this story, I can't talk about the second book, but in the Farseer trilogy, you follow Fitz throughout his life. Fitz is a bastard son. Basically, his grandpa and his mom were taking care of him, but his grandpa was like, I can't take care of the mom and her son, so let's give him back to the dad. And the dad is a prince, and no one knew that he had a kid. I don't think he knew he had a kid either. But basically, you follow Fitz, and this happened when he was like 6 years old. You follow Fitz, and he goes through so much. This is basically a character study. So if you're not used to reading fantasy, but you are used to reading, I don't know, literary fiction where you follow one person and the writing is very beautiful and very descriptive, I think you will definitely enjoy this. And I definitely would say pick this up because it's very atmospheric in terms of like winter and everything that she describes. Like, I can see what she's describing, and I feel like I'm fairly good at doing that in books, but Robin Hobb is just something else. Her characters are so fleshed out. They're so good. Like, her writing is just so good all around. But you follow Fitz and his journey to be an assassin. Don't expect a full-on training to be an assassin story, although that is in it. There is just so much more, and it is tragic and heartbreaking and beautiful and thrilling in a way because you don't know what's going to happen next, or at least I didn't. And that's basically all I can tell you about the Farseer trilogy. So the next book that I would like to read is The Clash of Kings, which is the second book in George R.R. Martin's A Song of Ice and Fire series. And I'm very excited to read Clash of Kings, and also nervous because the first book was kind of hard to get through. Oh, I didn't even mention Robin Hobb's books. You may need a dictionary because I needed a dictionary. Just going to put that out there, which I also enjoy because I was learning as I was reading, which I think is so great. So anyway, back to George R.R. Martin. I feel like you don't need a dictionary for George R.R. Martin, which is nice, but his writing is still good. It's definitely good. You follow so many characters, and it is so complex and complicated that you need a college degree to be able to, I don't know, you need a good memory is basically what I'm trying to say. Okay, my camera keeps cutting out on me because I'm trying to charge it and it keeps not recognizing that it's being charged, and it is frustrating me. But anyway, so let's continue. A Clash of Kings by George R.R. Martin. Can you tell I've had my coffee this morning? I feel like you can. Anyway, so A Clash of Kings by George R.R. Martin. I can't really explain too much about A Game of Thrones. Basically, dragons did exist in this world, and there are many different, my voice just cracked, disgusting. There are different rulers in different kingdoms within this world, and it's very complex, and there is very, very long winters, which is why the Winter is Coming is such a popular thing, mainly from the show, but very long, hard winters there. What else can I say about it? You follow different families, and you follow many different people, many different characters who are also fully fleshed out, written so well. It is so intriguing, such a good story. It's so entertaining. There are some things that I don't like about it when it comes to more graphic, intimate scenes and some relations among family, but knowing that it's that time period, it was more normal, but none of these things are seen to be good. And George R.R. Martin does describe women's breasts quite a bit, which you guys know on this channel that I don't appreciate it, but it is what it is, and I don't think that it takes away from his story. Sometimes it makes me pause and go, okay, George, like, what were you thinking writing this sentence about this girl who's like 14? And I'm like, ooh, I don't appreciate that. But when it comes from the narration part of view, but when it comes from one of his characters, like, it's not being glorified in any sort of way. But that's my only negatives for that kind of stuff. But anyways, epic, high fantasy. I think that if you enjoy fantasy and you want a really good fantasy story, get into George R.R. Martin, get into A Song of Ice and Fire. but don't expect an ending. But a lot of people are content with it not having an ending, and I think I might be. I don't know. I guess we're gonna have to see, but I'm a long ways away from the 5th. I think there's 5 books. I'm a long ways away from there. I think there's supposed to be 7. So the next book is by one of my favorite authors, J.R. Tolkien, and it is Beren and Luthien, and it is one of his kind of love stories. It's within the Silmarillion, but one of my friends, mine and my husband's friends, had bought this book for us for our wedding present from him, and I thought that was so precious and such a nice thing to do, and so perfect for me and my husband because we are big Lord of the Rings fans, big J.R. Tolkien fans, and I'm very excited to finally get into this, and especially because we came up on our 1-year wedding anniversary. I'm super excited to read this book, and sorry that I haven't read it yet, and I don't really know anything about it other than that I'm very excited, and it's a story about a couple. So I guess that's my romance. I don't know. Okay. So a lot of you guys have wanted me to try Brandon Sanderson again, and I will be trying Brandon Sanderson. Hopefully before the end of the year. I do want to pick up Mistborn because we already own it. Me and my husband already own Mistborn, and I want to give it a second go. I want to give it another try. I want to give Brandon Sanderson another try. Mistborn is fantasy that is about this world where I think you have powers with metals. And if you are able to consume the metals and have the powers, then you're a Mistborn, and that the skies have ash falling all the time, and it's following a couple main people, not as much as George R. R. Martin or Robin Hobb or even Malice by John Gwynne, I don't think. And really, I don't know that much about Mistborn, even though I have watched so many videos on it, and I even got spoiler talks from my friend about it, but I can't describe it. I'm not very good at explaining it. So the next book I would like to read I have in person, which is Narnia. I will not read the entire Chronicles of Narnia, and look how pretty this is. I actually hated this cover for so long, but I like it now. Oh my gosh, my window looks like a cross. Look at the Lord. Anyway, oh, my eyes. So C.S. Lewis was a Christian author, and this is basically a fantasy for young people, though I think anyone can read it. I will see how it's aged. I don't actually know, but it has very, very strong allegories, like Christian allegories. And Lord of the Rings also has Christian allegories, but it's not as strong. And what I find really interesting is that J.R.R. Tolkien actually didn't like C.S. Lewis's work because he thought that the Christian allegories were too upfront. And J.R.R. Tolkien, like his story, you don't have to be a Christian to enjoy it. And I think that for C.S. Lewis, maybe more so that if you're a Christian, you will enjoy the story more. Not that you have to be a Christian to enjoy it, but that you may enjoy the story more and its allegories, and you'll be able to pick up more of, or even if you know about the Bible, you may be able to pick up more from this story and enjoy more out of this story. I think I will try to read maybe the first or second books of this before the end of the year. Definitely has the winter vibes. I watched the movies when I was a kid and have watched movie commentaries, especially by, I think her name is Lakia. I'm so sorry. I'm so bad with names. But her channel, she did a movie commentary, and I really enjoyed her commentary on Narnia. And yeah, basically I don't know anything about Narnia. I don't. I know that they go into a closet and it's a portal fantasy, and I think that's freaking awesome. And I had dreams about going into my closet. And Noelle, lore time. I had dreams about going into my closet, and that behind it was a candy store, but it was like an all red candy store. I don't know of any red candy I like. Oh, that's a lie. I like cinnamon candy. There's the Noelle lore of the day. So we're approaching the last couple of books, and that is going to be the last three books. Gosh, the last 3 books in Harry Potter. I am so excited. As a lot of you know, I have read the first 4 books in the Harry Potter series, and I'm super excited and also nervous because I know that the Order of the Phoenix is a lot of people's least favorite book because it's sad, I guess. And depressing, but I mean, so is being a teenager, which is exactly what they all were. So I mean, It gets better. It gets better. That's all I'm gonna say. If you're a teen, it gets better, okay? Much better than high school and all that. Anyways, so if you don't know what Harry Potter is about, I think you've been living under a rock since you were born. Probably. You're following a wizard. A boy whose parents died by an evil wizard, and you find out that he finds out he's a freaking awesome wizard. His aunt and his uncle suck, and he makes great friends and great enemies while he's at school, and you're following his time in school. Yeah, I think that's basically sums up Harry Potter, right? I'm so bad with describing books, and here I am with a booktube channel with 2,000 subscribers. First of all, thank you guys so much. But I think that is all for my TBR. But if you do have recommendations, I'm so open to hearing what you have to say. Just give me something about the book, you know, just more than just, oh, I want you to read this book, but tell me about the book. Tell me why you like the book. Tell me, you know, the main premise and all that kind of stuff. I'm so into reading everything that you guys have to say and commenting, and you know, maybe I'll make a Discord one day. I think I would definitely enjoy making a Discord for free. I don't really want to get a Patreon or anything like that. Anyways, Discord, eventually in the future, I would love to do that, and we can talk all about books because I love talking with you guys in the comments, but I would love to create more of a community so that everyone can talk with each other within the Discord. I think that would be awesome. So let me know how you feel about that. Let me know what you think about all these books. Let me know if you have any more recommendations for me. Let me know what you're reading for the fall. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. God bless.